Hey, messy movers. I hope this message finds you well and in good spirits and feeling grounded, connected, at peace. The rain is coming down here, and I have on some oud oil, and I've got my vape, and I did a little glamour magic this morning, and I'm feeling restored and healed and hopeful. I'm just sitting with that. The birds are chirping around me. It's rainy, but it's still a really beautiful day. So I want to try something new and start doing like a Sunday conversation to update you all on things that are happening in the studio, things that may have changed throughout the week, and also to talk with y'all and get more of your thoughts about what you would like to see in the lab, what would be beneficial to your learning journey, how you want to see things grow or evolve in the space. And I really want to know the things that you all want to learn when it comes to your overall sexual wellness and also in relationship to movement and your body and how you want to feel when you show up in your body, in life, in your relationship, in your friendships, in your career, in your family. How do you want to feel in your body? How do you feel now? And what do we need to do to get from point A to point B? So, as you all know, we are hosting the Embodied Tour, and this experience is something that I feel like is just continuing to name itself. The further we step into it, the more we commit to it, the more things become clear. The Messy Movement Lab is our home, it's our base, it's our gathering place, it's the place where we're coming back to refuel each week. So you're getting your opportunity for movement, you're getting 15-minute tutorials or hour-long classes if you're a member in the lab. You're getting monthly coaching with me. You're getting weekly emails that are just for members with like a 7-day plan of how you can make space for movement, make space for pleasure, make space for creating connection in that coming week. And then as a non-member, if you're like, I'm not necessarily ready to get that full range of coaching, but I do want to have a powerful experience. I do want to understand what is this experience that I've heard other people talking about. Then you want to just come to one of the master classes, and then from there decide how you want to continue to engage the practice. If you're cool with self-study and you want to be able to explore on your own, maybe you're still looking for your practice home and you haven't really defined where that's going to be, great. We welcome you to take a master class and see what the experience is like, and then come back as often as you desire. And also, when you're ready, or if you want to try it out, we are also here to give you a deeper experience. We want you to be able to have more than just the one time experience of getting into that space. And I really love to remind you all that this is about building a relationship to your sensuality, a relationship to your erotic self, a relationship to intimacy with your body in ways that maybe you have experienced before and you're wanting to advance, or maybe you've never experienced this before. But it's like a first date, right? Like, and if your first date happens to be our in-person tour, you're going to be learning a lot in reverse, which is great, right? Like, you're going to get a specific experience in the tour space. You're going to get a movement practice that you can carry with you for however long you remember it. You know what I mean? You're going to get a chance to have an opportunity for live coaching, live discussion, and be able to fellowship with other people in person that are also in the space of cultivating their erotic self through healing movement, through sensual movement. And a lot of times what I see happen is people are like, well, how do I, continue this energy, or where are the places here that are doing this work? And the truth is, I have always longed for the Messy Movement Lab to be something that came with me or lived in the world and other people could get to it when they needed it, as opposed to having to wait for an in-person experience or wait for a class or fit it into your schedule, you know what I mean, after school, after work, after, taking care of the kids. I wanted it to be something that when you had that 5 or 15 minutes, you had an opportunity to drop into it. When you had that 1 hour in your week, you had an opportunity to drop into it. When you need like a full, like meaty, hearty, like release and refuel session, you've got that. And that didn't exist when I did my first tour. It was something that I was still, trying to kind of call into existence. I couldn't really name it, didn't know how it functioned. But over the last 7 years, 8 years, that has shifted. I've learned so much about digital course making, about video editing, and you all know that I absolutely love making films and, making short stories, and I want to expand that. And so I've been able to kind of corral all these different, pieces to create really powerful digital spaces for you all. And this is unlike any other digital space that you've ever been in. I guarantee you it's not your regular fitness class on Zoom. We've just transcended beyond that, and we had to, because we were in a space where, and I'm speaking, when I say we, in this moment, I'm speaking to myself, my husband, and my mother, my core team, living in an intergenerational family, you know what I mean, navigating the pandemic and trying to keep an elder safe, and also recognizing that we are both immune compromised. And so we wanted to make sure that, we could keep each other as safe as possible and still be able to be with each other, right? Because one person gets sick, you've got to quarantine and isolate and all these different things. And so creating space for myself at home and wherever I was able to find it was so crucial to my own mental health as a caregiver, as a wife, as someone navigating a really scary situation with their last living parent. Like, just so many things, stacked up in those few years. And it became a necessity that I was able to, one, have connection and fellowship with people online, and that didn't compromise or create any type of anxiety or worry or fear or risk or whatever around, how that would or would not impact my family. And so that became our top priority. And even prior to that, in 2018, just a couple years before the pandemic, we started up for like a small group coaching class, and we had members meeting from different parts of the states. I think we might have had one international class member at the time. And getting these folks together just to talk and to talk through some of the theories and practices that we could implement around pleasure, around mindfulness, around body safety, around somatic practices that, can help us regulate and allow us to be able to show up with more clarity, with more calmness, more ease, more compassion in the way in which we're navigating the world. The movement became the miracle. It was the thing that we needed to be able to shift from anxiety to trust, from sadness to hopefulness, from extreme grief to moderate grief. Like, it was the thing that moved the energy, and moving the energy allowed for us to do more. It allowed for more things to open. It allowed for more connection to be possible because we weren't on guard. And so that coaching class lasted for 12 weeks, I believe. And it was just like, I was like, yes, like, this is it. I was still struggling at the time to figure out my movement. The classes, I was so frustrated because I didn't nearly have the equipment that I have today, and the way in which I was trying to create, like, put the classes together. Sometimes it worked, and then sometimes I was just left like utterly destroyed because I'm like, this doesn't look the way that I want it to look, or this isn't the experience I want people to have, and so over the last 6 years, we've like slowly kind of continued to put our foot in the digital space to be able to see how to create these spaces. And I would say solidly by 2022 we were there, and we were creating digital spaces and movement classes that are digital, that actually had impact. And impact for not only you as the student, but also for me as the teacher, where I was able to show up as a whole person, where my body and my needs and my considerations for that day were, taken into account in the creation of a class. Being able to have space to do reflection and offer live coaching, and have a visual aid that allows for the students to get a multi-camera view of the space. It was everything, and it is everything. And so this is the thing that I think I've always wanted. I've wanted us to be able to gather from no matter where we were in the world, no matter how much space that you have, to be able to take those breaks together and like lock in with other people who are also prioritizing and centering pleasure and intimacy and connection with the body as a leading pathway in our lives, and not something that we're putting on the back burner. And to be able to see other people doing it, then allowing for us to be affirmed in that, and to be affirmed in that choice, and to understand that every time we pour in, it multiplies, it really flourishes, allows our lives and the way in which we're showing up in our lives to flourish, right? And but in-person classes, there's just nothing like it. And so we want to do both. Now that we're at a point where we have less risk to manage, I won't say that there aren't risks to manage with in-person gatherings. There's still risk. There's still risk for me as a teacher. There's still risk for you as a student. And I want to keep you as safe as possible, and also recognize those risks up front so that we can both move with like consciousness, with clarity, with mindfulness around our bodies, our health, our needs, etc., and also to be able to have this really pleasurable experience. And so as I'm thinking about getting back into in-person touring, it's just gonna look different, right? Like, I sacrificed a lot in the beginning to tour, like a lot. And touring independently as an artist and as a teacher is fucking wild, G. Like, You're talking about all the things that you need to be able to run a space, hold a space, break it down, protect the people, da 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 da. And I know some of y'all are like, okay, well, I see you're coming to X city, but like, where is it going to be? And there's a specific reason why we don't share the class location. One, it's for my fucking safety. Two, it's for your fucking safety. But also, like, with the way in which this work has been shared, I've gotten a ton of unwanted advances and comments and messages, and you know what I'm saying, that have only grown over the years. And so sharing that we're doing this space and wanting to hold you all in a container of, you know, gentleness and just like healing energy and, you know, connection and fellowship and hopefully safety as well, and then giving everybody the cash location, like, just doesn't mix. Like, you know, so you have no way to engage with the actual experience just for yourself, because everybody's already in on it, you know what I mean? And that's not the same for every dance class, but with this specific work, being a survivor of domestic violence and sexual trauma, these are things that I cannot not think about. There are things that come up for me incessantly sometimes. And so part of managing that, especially when I was touring on my own, literally by myself, I was like, yeah, there's no way I can't give the information out because I'm putting myself at risk. And more than anything, I want to, you know, I grew up in a state of hypervigilance. I want to be able to do everything humanly possible to create a space of ease. So, what we're wanting to do with the membership is make it a space for, again, you to be able to get weekly classes online, video tutorials throughout the week, a monthly like intensive class where we're doing movement and coaching together once a month, and then also have an opportunity to purchase tickets to in-person classes at what we are calling our community discounted or reduced rate. So right now, that deal is when you join the membership for either $79 for the month with no commitment after that, or $39 for the month for a 1-year commitment. You get tickets to the in-person classes for the Embodied Tour at $35 BOGO, meaning $35 you pay for a ticket and you're going to get an additional ticket for free. And so I want to make it more possible for us to be able to have in-person experiences, whether that's dinners or a pop-up spa day or a master class or private coaching sessions that you can book, you know, during a certain time period. I want to be able to offer more of those experiences to you all as we are easing into the end of this year and 2025. And also make sure that it's grounded in something that you have access to no matter where we are in the world, no matter what's happening, you know, externally for us, you know, just as a collective, you have a space to be able to go to access practice, to access coaching, access people who are doing similar work in this particular community, and an opportunity to continue to develop your experience around this work. And then for folks who are in a space where they know that they're just, you know, they're still searching for wherever that place is that they want to land in this part of their journey, you want to just come and have the one-time experience with us, we have a non-member rate as well for the Embodied Tour. So you get the same experience, the same coaching style, and it's just like it ends there. And if you decide that you want to continue forward, we'll always, you know, keep you in the loop about classes in your area or the classes that we have coming up. One thing that we did for the start of the tour is we have registration date cutoffs. So We are wanting you all to take a look at the city that you're interested in and purchase your ticket for that city. When you purchase your ticket for that city, you are letting us know that you all have interest in that city, whether you're bringing a friend with you or you're coming solo. Going ahead and not waiting until after, maybe it's like, oh, I'll just wait till the week of to grab my ticket for class. While, we have done that in the past, we are not in that space any longer. We are shutting registration down early, one, because it gives us a full opportunity to cancel the class if need be due to low registration. Moving in this in-person space means that we need to meet a minimum number of students per class to make sure that it is sustainable for both myself and that we can also create a great experience for you. We're talking from registration to the time you leave. So I want you all to know that we're, look at those dates that are cut off for your city, and go ahead, reach out to us if you're like, hey, I need a payment plan. I'd love to purchase a ticket for X city, but I'm not able to put the entire, if you're coming as a non-member, can't put the entire 95 down right now, but I can send 50. We have invoicing systems. Will set you up as a customer in our portal. Like, we have ways to be able to support you making the class a priority. So please reach out to us and let us help you. Let us assist you in getting into the experience. But I want you all to look at those dates so that you can see what city, because don't be mad. Now, I've gone ahead and I've rearranged some dates because we went ahead and canceled Columbus. We tried to get there, but there's just something, I guess we got to do a little bit more relationship building in the city. So if you're in Columbus, please let me know, because I'd like to host, a little brunch. We just, but we come together so that we can get a chance to like meet and talk and connect and vibe and just have a chance to see people face to face. Sometimes that, is much more, excuse Quinoa, he's running in his sleep right here. Sometimes it just makes things a little bit easier when you get a chance to talk first and then go into a movement space. Because especially you're probably looking at it like, what are we doing for 3 hours? And again, this is not a dance class. It's a movement experience and a movement exploration. So you are getting an opportunity for breaks, for, moments for reflection, for discussion, for exploration on your own with the movement or with writing, etc. Like, you're getting multiple opportunities to do the work in different ways. And over the course of 3 hours, we take our time. So instead of this being like your regular 60-minute class that you're going to in the middle of the work week, you really get to have a bit of spaciousness to, kind of warm your body up to the experience and you get out of your head and then really sink into like a vibe, a flow. You know what I mean? You don't have to come in the door with the fishnets and 6-inch heels. Like, you can, but you don't have to. And a lot of times, with our regular maintenance classes, like even your weekly movement class in the lab, you may not necessarily, come in feeling like you're going to have that slow warm up, but it's because it's in the middle of day-to-day life. It's going to feel different than when you take an extended break. So the 3 hours is really an opportunity for us to, take our time, ease into it, ask questions, get coaching, and like progress through the experience, at the speed of grace, as opposed to feeling like we got to come in, you got to learn this choreography, you got to learn this technique, nail it. All right, boom, that's it. I love those classes and they are right for me at times. And then sometimes I need something like a lot less in the space of just beginning to end. I like messiness, you know what I mean? Literally being able to have more space to explore as opposed to less. And that the only goal or value of success is if you nail and remember the choreography. I could give less than a fuck if you remember the choreography. I want to give you language that you can utilize in your body to be able to create and evoke that sensual and erotic experience. I want you to like know how to get there on your own, and movement or sequences that we've provided for you as well. So canceling Columbus, moved New York back to the day after Baltimore, and the Chicago class that was originally in July, we moved to September 7th. And the class in Chicago that was scheduled for the end of September, like the 21st or something, or the 22nd, we've moved that to Detroit for September 14th. So trying to, one, spread out some of the places that we're going, and also give you all more time to, and if you're in the Columbus area, I want to like have a brunch meetup, for, let's say, small group of people. We might have to do more than one so that it can actually be intimate and we're not like yelling across the, situation. So I want you to, I'm going to put together a wait list, and we'll select a couple dates. It'll be like just a basic form. And I want to know, like, when can we do something like this over the next few months before we do another class? Because I feel like this is, even before when we were touring the Columbus area, I'm like, I'm getting there. I know people. I have personal relationship, but not a lot of dance, movement, pole. So I'm like, let me know what's happening. What classes are y'all going to? Like, I would love to show up. I would love to be in those spaces as well. Super excited to be in the space with you all, to move with you all, to show you some of the things that I've had a chance to work on and build, and moving through my own experience of, coming back to my body and finding ways to empower myself with movement, even while navigating chronic pain. I'm really excited to be able to be in the space with you all and have that opportunity for fellowship. And so, like I said, this is not something that is a one-time thing. We will start to list dates for 2025 soon. And I want you all to see that this will be a regular part of the membership. And I want to build more relationships with movers and practitioners, people who have studios or spaces in some of the different places. And UK, I'm looking at y'all like, please, like, I'm ready to experience Paris. So please. But I really want to be able to have this duality where we have the digital space and a space to gather no matter where we are. And also we have the opportunity to train together in person and to fellowship together in person. That's like a big central focus, I feel, for the lab's work, is creating space for fellowship, and a fellowship through movement specifically. Thank you all so much for showing up and being excited and reminding me of just like one of the beautiful highs of being in these spaces with you all and preparing to be in person with you. I'm really excited about this, and I feel really hopeful about being able to have these spaces ongoing. If you have questions, please email us at support@themessymovementlab, and we will talk to you soon. See you on the dance floor.